Welcome to The Real Recipe, the podcast that brings you the perfect blend of real estate trends and topics, where we serve up fresh insights and sizzling strategies. So let's get cooking.
But still, the market is still really good, and I think really all it comes down to is supply and demand. That's all.
That's the only thing that's stopping the
all
market
it
from
is.
going the other way.
So in reality, I think that once the rates come down, because here's the thing, we're not getting a lot of sellers that are like, yeah, I want to sell. No seller's selling if they have to buy another house.
They're only doing it if they're buying
have to,
cash.
right? Unless they have to, they're either getting relocated for work or they're moving out of the state, right?
No, if they're buying in cash, if they can sell their home and there's enough profit there where they buy the next one in cash.
Okay, but other than that, if you have to get a mortgage, is what I'm saying. They don't want to lose their 3% interest rate to buy at 6.5% or 7%.
Well, we talked about this. We just talked about this. You know, what I'm seeing and what I think is a great strategy, at least for you guys on the agent side of things. If sellers are interested in selling and they have credit card debt, if you look at the net of their increase in their payment and they pay off, let's say they sell and they pay off all that credit card debt, your interest rate went up, but your net on a monthly basis is down.
Your revolving debt is down.
Yeah, you're revolving, because in some cases credit cards are 22, 25, 29%.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of money that you'd be saving in interest, and we literally talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even though it's a $10,000 credit card, and you think like, oh, hey, it's $10,000, I can manage to pay that off. But the amount of interest that you're paying
Right.
$2,500 a year in interest
Right.
on that over the course of a
Correct.
couple of years. You know, that could be a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And
the rebuttal to that is they'll just take a line of credit and they'll pay it off.
9%.
But the average person, the average family doesn't have one credit card
No.
at $10,000 with a $10,000 limit. They have multiple credit cards,
Yeah.
and a lot of them are maxing them out right now. And then maybe they have a $300 a month minimum payment for each, but that obviously adds up.
Yeah.
People don't want to look at that though.
Now, one other topic before we wrap this up. So I know each one of you have. No, I know. Actually, I know this is something
I'm
that.
just curious what you're going to ask.
Why? No. Well, so everybody has a beach house or a house down the shore or a second home. What do we think about the second home market right now?
I think that's going to be the first houses to
I agree.
sell.
I totally agree.
I think
That's
people
gonna
are,
be
and that.
because I think everybody went into that going, oh yeah, I'm totally getting a beach house.
And-
Let's go.
yeah,
and now
and
it's like, hold on,
correction.
wait a minute.
When they sell, I want to buy their
Right.
beach house.
Yes.
So-
I'm gonna be there licking
So
my lips.
that's
I-
directly.
I am going to. I don't have a beach house, by the way.
Melissa lives in my beach house.
Yeah,
Right.
basically.
Right.
I have beach houses that I can go to, but they're not mine. But anyway, I want to buy a beach house, but I'm going to wait because I think that's those people are going to sell their second homes first.
I agree.
When they really start struggling, they're going to
First
sell
thing's
that.
going,
That's
yeah.
the first thing to go. So
But do you think that that's being held back a little bit by Airbnb and some of this other
Yes.
stuff?
yes,
That's what I
but
was
you
gonna
know
say.
what? But I also think that soon enough, it's only a matter of time. This is just me, but I think that soon enough that they're gonna put the kibosh on Airbnb slowly.
Slowly in certain towns. But
Yeah.
I'm seeing people who have beach houses they bought it and they were like, no, we're never renting it out. We're never renting it out. They're like, hey, can I like pick your brain about Airbnb? Because like I got to rent it. I got a $3,000 a month to whatever, $4,000 a month mortgage payment plus costs that I now have to at least offset a little bit because they either can't get down there or they're like, my God, this is it's too much.
And I think that townships are gonna start putting out
Not start,
stricter.
they have already.
Well,
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah.
but I'm saying more and more townships are gonna start.
I think
putting
if you have good location, prime location, you're fine. You can't say all of them. You know, they're not. I don't think that they're gonna. It's a big fight. If you're in a resort area, if you're like in a very if you're in a beach area, it's very difficult for you for the town to win that argument. But if you're in a highly,
I'm not saying they're going to eliminate it. I think that they're going to put some rules and regulations, like you can't rent it however many times a year you want
they already
to.
have.
They're,
That's
and
already,
they
there's
want
over 100 towns.
They want their
already.
piece of the pie.
Yeah,
they want a
right.
fee. They want a.
No, they don't want anything right now. The residents that live. So here's the claim: residents that live in a highly owner-occupied area. Like I'll take Barnegat for example, because short-term rentals there are not
Yes.
allowed. It's a $3,000 fine, by the way, or $5,000.
It's like
fine.
2-week minimum, right?
No, 1 month.
Oh,
4
it's
week
1 month
minimum.
now.
So what they're saying is the residents are coming up like, hey, it's not my fault that I could afford my house, and the only way they can offset their
Right.
affordability is by going to Airbnb or VRBO. That's what they're saying. In reality, they're not getting why some people are buying it, and obviously Airbnb. You're making more money Airbnb-ing it than you were buying a two-family. Think about it. You really you're cash flowing a lot higher.
We've talked about
Yeah.
it.
So, but a lot of residents are, I guess they're, it could be an aspect of either jealousy or they just don't want. There are some people have had bad experiences where, there's been a high turnover of people coming in and out, and it's a ruckus. Like I've seen it.
They don't
you're here
want
for a week
They don't
and
want
it's part-
partiers there all weekend. They're doing dumb stuff. I get it.
But you can, like, she has Airbnb. There's a way to curb all that, right? Like she doesn't, like Ileani does it. They don't rent to anybody, I think, under the age of 25. It's got to be a minimum 1 week rental.
They have to have reviews and stuff like that. So you can be stringent about it. I mean, certain townships like Belmar is more strict about it now, they send you, like the Airbnb host, they send you a form. They want the name of everybody in the house. Honestly, some of them ask for their license if they're of legal driving age. They want their license plates, and they have to pay the township a fee. I mean, if they turned around and said that to us, I'd be like, fine, no problem. I would do it, as long as we get
But
to
how
continue.
much of an impact do you really think that has on
A lot.
real estate? Like,
A lot.
what do you think is going to happen 6 months, 8 months, 12 months?
One of the reasons why real estate, there's many reasons why real estate got expensive in New Jersey. One of them is actually Airbnb. I mean, you have people, forget about the beach areas. You have people that are Airbnb houses
Linden.
in Linden.
Yeah.
They just put the kibosh on that too. But you have people buying,
I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
you have people buying houses in Newark and they're Airbnb, and I mean, they're killing it. I have one of our agents' parents own a house, I think a 3-family or Anna Quintano, and
Yeah.
they're cash flowing over $20,000 a month.
No
Absolutely.
way.
Yes,
People
'cause they're
going
by
to
the
city,
airport.
airport.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Prudential
okay.
That's
Center.
relative to
Yeah.
disposable income. I've seen that already. Like people forget, like 06 and 07 is no different than the market we're in right now.
No
It's
kidding.
not like
I wouldn't
we've
have
seen
thought of
that. And
I
what's
love
going to happen
Airbnb.
is,
Yeah, I know you do.
Love
I know you do.
Airbnb.
We have to do a whole episode on
Guys,
Airbnb.
I'm buying a house in Newark.
yeah, but
Yeah,
what
right.
happens?
Buying a second home in North.
Forget it.
But disposable income, when that goes away, people are not going to spend. That's the
Yeah.
way it is,
True.
right? So what happens? Only people like Jackie and other people that have homes in good areas, right? They're going to be able to get their houses rented. There's too much competition. Like you're starting to see. So during Super Bowl,
Oh yeah, you told
yeah,
me
in
this.
Arizona, because Arizona.
Oh yeah, but yeah.
Yeah,
People
like-
renting out their houses.
So
for
AirDNA basically, which is what tracks Airbnb, over 50% of the Airbnb properties in Arizona were not rented. They were vacant during Super Bowl weekend.
Yeah.
That's an indication. Like it's a very saturated market.
Yes, there's a lot of Airbnb. I went on Airbnb just like 2 weeks ago to like look up a house, and I was like, I couldn't believe how many houses there are. I'm
But
like,
you know what? Joe, what gets
Oh
me about
my
Airbnb
God.
is the fees.
From the renter's
Joe
perspective,
sent
the
me-
fees are ridiculous.
Yeah.
yeah.
Ridiculous.
Joe sent me a house in Lawrenceville. He's like, let's buy it. We'll Airbnb it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah. But
anywhere.
if you're buying without strategy, then you're going to fail.
Well, that's that's
And back to Airbnb, I think that a lot of people justify purchasing houses at an exuberant amount because I can just Airbnb it, right? It's going to come to the point where unless your house or home stands out, you're not going to Airbnb in it.
There's a
'Cause
lot
too
of
much
competition.
You know,
Yeah.
what's, you know what's funny? So have Orlando? Have you been to Orlando yet?
No,
All right. So
Where's Orlando?
in Florida.
Yeah. Well,
He
you
answered.
know you always
He
joke.
answered.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
like,
right. Yeah. Like you're not gonna know. Hey, by the way, Orlando. So on one of my many vacations, we rented a house in
The 7 that he takes every year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We rented a house in Orlando, and it was really cool. So we got this gigantic, like 8,000 square foot house, and what was cool about it was the owner had made, Disney themed rooms, and
Oh,
really
'cause it's
spent
right by
a
Universal
decent. They
Studios.
spent a decent
Yeah.
amount of money redoing the house in that way, and it was so cool. Like even the garage, they closed the garage.
Why do you think he did it?
No, I know that for that
Right.
reason, right? To help it stand out, because all the other houses were like normal houses and pools and everything, but this one had like the themed rooms, and the garage was like an arcade with air hockey
Yeah.
and ping pong, and it made a difference for us in that we're like, okay, yeah, I'll pay a little bit more for that because look, the kids can go in the garage, get the hell out of here, close the doors, good luck.
Yeah.
Don't open the door, that's it, and you're good. So I think that is probably a strategy for Airbnb going forward, and we should probably have a whole episode on Airbnb.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, like with second homes, that everybody rushed to go buy a second home, and now, if you're right, if the economy is going to start to falter a little bit, what's the first thing that's going to go? It's your second home. Let me let that go. If I can't Airbnb it because some of the legislation that's going on at the town level, that's the
Or if
first
I
thing.
can't Airbnb it because there's not that many people taking vacations and are willing to
Well, that's the other thing too, right?
Right?
Or do you
Like-
start offering it $99
Well,
a
Airbnb
night,
blew up.
you know?
So Airbnb in New Jersey blew up because remember what happened? You couldn't take a flight anywhere, right?
Yeah.
So I had this argument with my brother. I go, the beach houses in Jersey Shore, this is like April, will be packed.
Oh, we did that. Yeah.
The premiums in May, June, July were ridiculous of 2020.
Yep.
Ridiculous. And that's what started, everybody started buying. Boom, boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom, boom, boom,
yeah.
boom. Because, no one's going to fly for a long time. No one's going to fly. Well, now people are flying again, right? And they're flying religiously.
And I think that it's going to die down a little.
No,
Right.
it is.
Yeah.
I don't think a little. It's going to die down. I think it will die down
And
a
I
lot.
also, and I, like I said, I stand behind my statement.
Which is
Towns
what?
are going to put more and more guidelines out there.
No, I think you may see towns just get rid of it. Period.
Yeah,
They may
even
not
some of the
allow
shore
it.
towns.
No.
Like, I think so.
That's a big.
All right. Well,
Big
let's
fight.
I think some
I'll
of
tell
the
you why.
shore
I'm going to
towns-
say in a regular township, right? Airbnb is the minority. You go to a beach town, Airbnb
Is the
owners
majority.
are
Yeah,
the
you're not
majority.
gonna
They're
get
not
it.
minorities.
Take LBI, Beach Haven West. A large source of their income
Yeah.
is seasonal. Not
Yeah, but
seasonal.
But that's
you
the
know,
island as a
visitors.
whole. But yeah.
Yes,
Right.
but that's I understand that. But there's other shore towns that are more geared towards
Well, like
owner
like
occupied.
Barnegat.
Yeah, like
Barnegat.
Tom's
You know, like
River,
Barnegat,
Barnegat,
exactly.
yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. I think that those towns are going to.
Yeah, I agree with that. With those towns.
They already did. It's not going to. It's already done. Like those towns are not allowing it now as we speak. It's over.
Right.
Yeah.
Like they're not allowing it. But the problem is they need to have the manpower to enforce it.
That's the
They
other
can't enforce it if they don't catch it.
Yeah.
It's not that easy.
All right. Well, that's an interesting take on the real estate market.
I'm doom and gloom.
I know you are. So before we wrap up, where do you think it is in a year from now? Where do you think the real estate market is,
I
up or
think it's
down?
going to be a neutral market.
I think
And
once
Neutral. You're already too.
I don't think it's going to be a buyer's
How much?
or because I think what's going to happen is once rates come down a little bit.
I'm in the same camp as you are.
Yeah,
I think
that's-
all of a sudden you're going to see boop, and it's gonna pop right. We're going to go not pre-COVID, COVID level stuff, but you're going to
Yeah.
see a lot of
But I
activity
think
back in the market.
there's
again.
not going to be such a huge shortage in supply anymore.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
So you're gonna how much of a drop you think?
I think we'll see 30 to 40%.
Oh my
Really?
God, he said this to
Wow.
me. Okay, no
crazy.
shot because he said this to me. I'll pull up
You
the
guys
old podcast 6 months ago. He said the real
Wait,
estate market
there's your
was
teaser.
going to
There's
drop.
your teaser. 40% drop in real estate.
I mean,
Wait,
we,
he
we've
said
seen.
1 year.
So let me
6
ask you,
months ago,
why?
Yeah.
More than
So
that.
wait. So why can we have 30 to 40% in 1 year of appreciation, but we can't have 30 in 2 to 3 years?
Mike, no, stop. That's not what I'm arguing. What I'm arguing
What
is
has
that
houses
6,
appreciated?
7,
No.
or 8 months
What
ago-
have we seen? She can't even answer this question. What have we seen in appreciation since 2020?
My love for Melissa.
Go.
Yeah, right. Go. All right. Go.
Where?
Come on.
What's-
How much? Like
yeah.
percentage-wise? Like
Yeah.
20, 30%?
How about 50%?
Okay. What,
My house in Rahway got it appraised right before I sold it. It got appraised the year prior for $315,000. My house in Rahway right now, if that person sells it, they're going to get $500,000. I've been doing this since 2004. I was buying houses in March of 2006, and I was selling it in April of 2006 at 30% appreciation. We know exactly how that went. FYI, he did mortgages back then. Okay, the vast majority of mortgages written back then were not subprime mortgages. Okay, my father didn't get a subprime mortgage. I didn't get a subprime mortgage, and the market went to shit. You know why? I'll tell you why. Because the people that actually worked and put money, they said, you know what? Why should I continue to pay for my house when this person is not doing it and my house now is worth 50% less? That's why. Here's the difference. Okay, I hate to say it. People are putting real money. Where the vast majority of the people that got hurt, back in the last mortgage
have
crisis,
equity.
Yeah,
they
didn't have equity.
they didn't put any money down. They didn't put any money down. I bought. You know how many properties I bought in the last 5 years where I'm buying? Where are you going? Oh, we bought a house all cash in Pennsylvania. What? Well, this time ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
Because you can't.
Yeah,
You're not
Can
gonna
I
be able to
finish
do
my
it.
statement?
You know why?
No,
Wait.
but
I'm gonna tell you
that's
why.
a good point, though.
Look, wait.
There wasn't
My
as
client
much
was.
equity.
My client just sold her house. She just closed last week. You know which house it was? She stopped making her mortgage payment January 17th of this year. In May, she was already in foreclosure, and she was already being threatened that she was going to be foreclosed on by June. She was going to get a foreclosure sale date within the next week. Okay, within the next week, had she not sold. That's
Yeah,
5
but
months.
Back in
right.
07, 08, that would have taken a year and a half,
Yeah.
2 years.
That would have taken 3 to 4 years.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I know
Yeah.
people that sat in their house for 7 years. They won. They won. Everybody who lost a house in 07, they won. They didn't lose. They
were in that-
won.
they were in those
If
houses
you
for
lose your
years.
house today, you lost. People are putting life savings. They don't got enough money to do anything else.
Well, let's see,
if they needed to
you know
do an
what?
upgrade.
Hold on. He
The
brings up an
question
interesting.
was-
he brings up an
The
interesting
job
point.
market sucks.
The question
understand?
was, I feel like I'm
Right, you
getting
get-
yelled
No,
at.
no,
I haven't
you're
even
not.
Let her get
finished
it out.
my
Let her get it out.
statement.
Let her get it
Well,
out.
what's the
Come on.
question?
Holy cow.
Come on, tell us what you
He
got.
said 34. You asked me where I thought the market was going to go. He thinks it's going to go down 30, 40%. I don't think it's going to go down that much. I think it's going to go down 10 to 20%. That's all I wanted to say before I got attacked.
Even if it went down 20%, you got if it goes down 20%, you got big problems in the market.
Okay,
Well,
but
here's the thing,
you-
though. Here's the thing, though. Think
all I
about
was
it.
gonna
Think about it
say.
in this way, and this is where I agree that it's going to be neutral. I don't think that you're going to see that much depreciation.
I
in the
don't
in value.
either.
So can I ask you
But-
something?
but
Can I
wait,
ask you
but hold
something? So why is the average American right now? Why is the average American household right now carrying more debt than ever in the history of the country?
I mean,
That's all we got to know.
Yeah,
That's it.
But I will give you this.
Because
I
you're
will
just
say that
spending money.
Yeah,
But
but
Mel-
it'll be easier for somebody to sell if you've got equity.
Thank you.
It's easier for you to sell and go. All
But
right,
that's
you know what,
why
I'll
they're
take
spending it.
I'll take a 10 or 20% hit on
Anybody
it
who bought the
because I
last
gotta get out of
3
it.
years or 4 years that wants to sell, they're not making any money. They're losing a lot of money.
What are you talking about?
Anybody who's bought in the last couple of years, if they go to sell the next year or so and the market does come down, they're screwed.
Well, in some markets, you've seen the
Wait,
appreciation of
how
over
about the
50%.
How about
So
the
they're
house
gonna
in
be
Florham
fine.
Park that went for like $500,000
Oh my
over?
God. Don't-
But she had one. She told you about this one. The one that was they bought it in December. Two
At
million.
1.8.
Yeah, 1.8 million.
1.8 or 9.
They didn't like it. It was too big. They put it back on the market.
6
Went
months
for,
later,
it went for 2.3.
over 2.3.
2.35.
But
yeah.
you
6
write up
months
mortgages.
later.
Let me ask you this question:
Yeah.
Do most people have a W-2 job, or do most people have commission job?
Most people are W-2, and most the loans that we're writing today are so much stronger than the loans we've written
Correct.
over the years that while I can appreciate if somebody loses their job and it'll have there'll be a default problem, but it's not the same as it was in 07 and 08 where there were a lot of stated income, there were a lot of different loan products that were out there that shouldn't have been out there. So today's mortgage is very strong. So you could make the argument that while foreclosures will creep up, they're not going to be the same as what they were before. In fact, a lot of the buyers nowadays are strong. They have equity. They're not going to just walk away from $200,000 or $100,000
But wait.
to put into a house.
But wait,
It's
you
gonna
can't
get-
tap. Here's the thing, and here's what people forget: you can't tap into equity if you don't have a job.
Right.
You got to
Yeah,
sell.
no. Fair
Okay.
point. Fair point.
My client had over $100,000 of equity. If she waited another 6 months, $100,000 in equity would have been wiped out to maybe about 40 or 30,000. At that point, her frame of mind would have been, "I'm not selling. I'll just stay here, and that's the end of it.
Yeah,
I won't sell.
yeah,
I'll just
yeah.
stay here, and I'll die with the house. Like they're gonna have to pull me out of the house." Right? Because at that point, you think it's doom and gloom for you. Oh, I went from making 100 to now making 30. I don't care. I'm not doing it.
Might as well just let it
You got to
go.
understand that human behavior doesn't change.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? The psychology of a human behavior of humans, it doesn't change. Right? Humans they always tackle the problem when the problem's too late to be tackled.
Yeah. Yes.
Right?
That is absolutely
Like
true.
she tackled her problem 4 months after she lost her job instead of doing it within the first month. She knew she was gonna have a problem. She went from making $110,000 out of her job to making $55,000. Right? The job market is not what?
You all right?
You okay? Is that a sneeze?
Wait. She coughed.
Yeah.
I coughed. You know why? Because we don't have any water. Because we're not sponsored by a
tried
water
to
company.
hold it.
We need
So-
to, you know what? We need to get a sponsor for water.
Exactly.
That's
But
what we need to work
if you look at the job market right now, I'm hearing it from everybody. It's not that great.
No, it's
People
not.
I got friends of mine right now. I think I'm losing my job that I've been there for 11 years.
Yeah.
My friend Bass just lost his job. He's been that Merck for 10 years. He just got laid off with a bunch of people.
Yeah.
right?
It's coming. It's
It is coming.
Oh, I mean, it's
coming.
Okay.
it's
And by the
coming.
way, he got a 7-week
And what's going to
severance.
happen? And what's going to happen?
What do you mean?
when
He's
people
trying to
lose-
get a job. He can't get it. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Well, look at
Basic
in our business
I'm
in the
saying
mortgage
what's
business.
going to
our
happen
business?
when they lose their job, Mike?
But what I'm saying, it's not what's going to happen. If they can't get a job, then they have to sell their property.
Yeah.
The issue is that everybody thinks, I'm going to figure it out. Okay? I thought I was going to figure it out in 2007, making over $300,000 a year. And I couldn't figure it out. When I figured it out, it was too late. Okay? So think about it. If I'm the average person, I couldn't figure it out. I thought I was going to figure it out, and then it was too late. The market was
Right.
dropping so quickly, I couldn't figure it out.
Most people, if they lose their job, won't be like, you know what, I'm gonna list my house. Like, I'm just gonna list my house because, like, what if I can't find a job? They're like, no, I'll figure it out. And then they miss a few payments because they have no income coming in, and then it's too late. And we were just talking about this because obviously in our business, I mean, you were seeing title companies being bought out, folding up like left and right because if you didn't if you have most of your relationships based on how the industry works now, because real estate offices are relying on vendor partners big time, like they never used to. And then those real estate offices, bless you. See, that was an actual sneeze. If the real estate partners are slow because it's slower, what do? You have no other relationships to go on. And then people are getting desperate, but a lot of title companies and mortgage companies are closing up shop or laying people off.
I saw the other day on it really tugged at my heartstrings a little bit. Like a girl that I know from years ago. She's a processor in the business. She moved to North Carolina because it was you could do
Processing
remote.
haven.
Yeah, right. But she posted on LinkedIn, which I applaud her for putting it out there. But she said she was just struggling mentally, and she's been looking for a job for like 8 or 9 months, and she hasn't found anything. And she's a single mom with a kid, and like I felt like I was like, all right, maybe I should just hire her just for the sake of hiring her. But then I'm like, okay, well, hold on, wait a minute, I got to be careful about my business too. But you're seeing a lot of people now coming to the end of whatever it is that they support, that they have money that they have in the bank.
The end of them trying to figure it out.
Yeah, and then to your point, now it's like, okay, it's kind of late now to be, maybe you should have done the Uber thing, or maybe Instacart, or OnlyFans or whatever, right? And figure it out.
But people have too much pride. That's the problem. Like if I lost my job and I knew that I was going to have a hard time finding a job, like I'd list my house tomorrow and I'd, do whatever I had to do, and I'd work 3 jobs. But most people don't have work ethic anymore. They don't want to work at a shop.
Right, that's it.
They don't want to
work
flip
there.
burgers. Like, I don't care. Whatever. I'll waitress. Like, who cares? I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
waitressing. I'll do it again if I had to.
Yeah.
Most people don't want to do that because they're letting their ego get in the way of actually being able to pay their bills and take care of their family. You can't do that anymore. Like the millennial generation and, up and coming has gotten so spoiled with that. People are expecting to work from home. They're like, I'm going to get paid for 40 hours a week and work 10. It's just not like that anymore.
Yeah, it's unfortunately that's a broader topic.
I know.
But real estate has provided us all a very nice living over the last couple of years, and it's definitely falling on some hard times now.
But the people who are in it for real are in it. They'll ride the wave, and we're in it for the long run.
I mean, you and I have talked about this, and you and I to a lesser extent, but it's funny because you are starting to see where deals are gravitating to people that are going to get it done, that are like trusting in like I'm getting deals from people that I traditionally have never gotten deals from, or once in a blue moon. Now all of a sudden I'm getting phone calls out of the blue. Hey, I need you to take care of this, close this for me. And it's actually gotten better in many ways because people know, okay, I work with Jackie, I work with John, or I work with this one or that one. And then all of a sudden, that the deal is, isolated to a few people that you trust, and it's going to close. And I'm starting to see that more and more now. Like even today, I was telling you about the agent from CB. I got a phone call from because he got into a fight with somebody else. Like, it's
So
like
that's why I just don't fight with anybody.
no, I know, but it's the funniest thing. Like we're in it's a tough time in the business. Why not do your job correctly? Do your and try to be creative and be successful. The real estate business is tough right now, but let's dig in. Like, to your point, it's doing the things. What got you here over the last couple of years? You and I talked about this.
What got you here is not going to.
What
get
got you
there.
here is not going to get you there in the future because it was too easy. It was way too easy, and way too many people got into real estate. And now you're having to transition, and now you're having to actually go hunt. People didn't have to hunt.
People thought it was easy.
Yeah, now they have to hunt, and a lot of people don't know how to hunt, and that's the problem right now. And with inventory is still a problem. Supply and demand is still a problem. It will continue to be a problem. The loans.
It's only a problem right now because the rates. If rates were never slashed the way they were slashed, we wouldn't be having this discussion right now.
Well,
we would be in a completely different market.
Well, what's funny?
Inundated with inventory.
Right.
Inundated.
Well, if you look historically speaking, right,
all of this is
mortgage
artificial.
rates. Yeah, mortgage rates have always kind of been between 4.5% and maybe 7%. If you look back over a much longer period and averaged it out. Yeah. So we're in actually good shape. We're where we should be, mortgage rate wise. The investors are making money. Everybody's making money on the mortgage, on financing, on buying property. You're right. It's that all of a sudden we compressed rates down to 2.5% or 3%.
Why?
Oh, there's a lot of reasons for that.
No, but what's the main reason? They needed people to spend money. They weren't spending money.
Yeah.
This is how bad it gets. It's very short, right? In 2 months, consumers weren't spending money. they press the panic button. We need to do something immediately. That's how quick. Look, you saw it before a couple of months ago. Silicon Valley Bank. All of a sudden, that triggered this bank, that bank. Yeah. It can go. Yeah. It can be like this, guys. It takes years to go up. It takes freaking weeks to go down, and that's the problem.
That's what I think is going to happen. Not with the same velocity, but I also believe that once the economy starts to slow down and recession starts to take hold, rates are going to come back down quick because everybody's going to remember what happened then. And you're going to have the street start doing the same thing again in the mortgage world. And all of a sudden, you're going to see rates come down to 4% like overnight. And then all of a sudden, you're going to get phone calls. You're going to get phone calls. I'm getting phone calls. And all of a sudden, you've got 100 buyers looking for 20 homes. Yeah. And we're back to the same problems that we were before. That's where my fear is that we go back there again. And for more natural reasons, not something that was artificially created.
My only question is this, though. Like, if you look at the markets overall, in 2015, 16, 17, the rates were very low. Why didn't we have this frenzy? Rates were low. You could have got, I sold my house 2 years ago. I sold my house 2 years ago. My rate, when I bought it in, you did the title on it, in Rahway, my rate, which was under my wife's name, was at 2.75. Mm-hmm. That was 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. So that was in 2013. Why didn't we see? And I bought my house for $165,000. Why didn't we see that frenzy then?
Yeah, I can tell you exactly why. Because once COVID hit, it changed people's perception of their living situation, and I think that has stuck now, and that's not going to change going forward.
No, but you have people, Ryan. You have people buying houses right now like it's candy. Like they think, I'll tell you why. Because everybody's being sold on the perception that, this $500,000 home in 30 years will be worth $1.5 million. It's not going to happen.
No,
it's not.
I agree with that.
It's not going to happen. If it is $1.5 million, it's worth the same amount as it was 30 years ago. You know why? Because if it's worth $1.5 million, then that means the dollar is worth a lot less, right? That's what people don't understand. Yeah. And that's the argument. The argument is that this is the best it's ever going to get. It's not going to get any better. If you think we're going to go higher than this, right? It's unsustainable.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to go.
You have salaries. You got people. You have people. I'm on Twitter. I'm on a bunch of platforms, and I'm hearing people have real big problems. I'm losing my job. This, that, and the other. My boss just told me I'm getting a 10% decrease. It's take it or leave it. Like, that's happening right now in the job market. Even in your world right now, in the mortgage business, processors were getting paid $80,000 to $100,000. They're being told, look, your salary right now is $60,000.
Not even.
Take it or leave it. And what are you going to do?
Not even.
Or you have processors.
There's a close friend of ours that both of you know.
Correct.
He took a 20% cut.
And that's in our industry. That's happening in every industry right now across the board. Amazon are laying off people left to right. Right? They're laying people off left to right because of AI and all the automation.
You're always doom and gloom, though. You're always doom and gloom. No. Listen, I think that real estate, is poised for a correction. It has to correct. It has gone too far, too fast to the upside without any real underlying reasons for it to appreciate at such a fast pace. I mean, the reality is people need to come to grips with the idea that, hey, maybe I shouldn't be spending $150,000 over ask on a $700,000 house.
It's crazy.
I mean, it's just some of the things that were obnoxious. But that's part of, for you guys too, as agents, to kind of counsel your client, but then you get your client just going, I don't give a shit. I want to buy the house. Let's go. And you're like, well, I don't agree with that the value's there. And then all of a sudden, the appraisal doesn't come in or there's other problems.
But people are not buying on value anymore. Look at the stock market. For the first time in the history, if you ask a stockbroker that's been doing it for 30 years, and ask him, how are people trading? And he'll tell you, or she'll tell you, no fundamentals. People are not buying stocks or houses based on fundamentals anymore. They're buying it like kids nowadays under the age of 35, kids, right? Kids. They're being taught and trained.
What are you talking about? I'm a kid.
Yeah, exactly. But they're being taught and
you
trained
were
that
until you shaved that mustache.
it's okay. Like they're being taught exactly. They're being taught and trained that it's okay for you not to save any money. Just invest it. That's what they're being taught.
Yeah.
Like I freak out if I don't have $100,000 in my bank account, I freak out.
But see, that's also the same reason why you and I have been more dormant in investing, because there's just nothing out there. because you got all these idiots.
Yeah.
But,
No,
you know,
I'm investing
No, but
more
you know
now
what I
than
mean,
ever
like-
before.
But he's not buying houses.
not
He's
the same way.
investing
Yeah.
differently.
Yeah, differently now.
in a very different way. But like when people say like, oh, the market prices are high. I'm still like when I bought Belleville at 195,000. That was not long ago.
You're welcome.
I still bought properties at a very decent discount. Properties are still there. It's just if you're looking for it, you're going to find them.
But you got to find.
Yeah, because people have different circumstances, right? And the investor world is still on fire. Why? Because people are there's a lot of people out there hurting. That's why there's houses still selling at prices. You just bought a house at a ridiculous price,
Yes.
right? So I mean, there's still people there with very unique financial distress situations, right? At some point, all we need is just a small 1% to 2% adjustment in that labor force, and then
A lot of
And then
deals.
the market's going to come down 40%, maybe 50,
I
maybe
think that
70.
it's trickle down. No, not 70.
Maybe
but
100%.
Wait. But here's the thing.
Who
Like
knows?
we'll wrap it up right after this. But in
Thanks.
2007, right? If you look at 2007, houses were selling very close to similar prices to today.
Like I was like 17 in 2007.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And if you told me that
still in high school.
if you told me that $500,000 property in Elizabeth would sell for 150,000, people would be like, "You're out of your mind." And guess what? That went on for freaking 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
You could have bought property all over Elizabeth, Newark for $100,000 to $150,000.
I remember when I bought my house in 2005, I definitely top ticked the market, and it probably took 10 years for it to come back.
Yeah.
Because it dropped pretty.
Took a lot of quantitative easing by the
Oh, yeah.
previous president.
Yeah.
It took a lot of stuff.
It dropped probably
Yeah.
by like 150 grand. And
Yeah.
it took a long while for it to come back.
Yeah. What
You know,
goes up
now-
must come down.
Now it's doubled in like 3 years, but yeah, I'll take that all day long.
You want to sell?
Oh, there you go.
Because I'm
Mel
gonna buy.
finds the
Here, I'm gonna
deals.
give you
There
the
you go.
classic. But what am I gonna buy?
And also remember, October, we're all panicking. Just remember that. In October, November, we had a
Yeah.
different conversation last year.
Yeah, we
right?
did. Do you remember
It was
this?
everybody was panic mode. Why? Nobody was buying.
Yeah.
Like it dropped.
Yeah.
I mean, you
It
see
was like
somebody.
that in January. It's still too.
January, things started going up.
Well, look, I think I do think it softens up a little bit. I'm actually happy in a lot of ways that it's gonna purge. For us, for all of us.
Selfishly
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah, selfishly for us, I'm happy because there's just so many people that should not be in this business in whatever field it is. But there's just too many people in the business. They need to go find something else. You got into this. Yeah, you made a couple bucks. Okay, cool. You can hang out for a little while. But you're not if you're not in it to win it, and you're not in it full time. There's no point in being here.
Yeah, but
know?
you guys
And I'm
are
not
also
saying-
established, right? So think about it.
Yeah.
If you lost half of your income tomorrow, you're still going to be able to pay your bills. Same with her, same with her, same with me. The average American can't do that. A 20% or a 10% difference already goes from I can't pay my bills.
Yeah.
But is that being established, or is that like just being like, because we were just talking about this, I was just saying like, oh my gosh, this house is listed for this. Like, why is it that someone who's making a third of what I make can buy a house 3 times more than
Right.
that? And I'm like, oh my God, I would never do that. Like, it just
Yeah.
doesn't seem like a
life
financially
choices.
responsible thing to do. It's like a life
Your
choice. It's not.
spending habits.
It's
and
not.
stuff.
I mean, being established, I bought my first house when I was making like $35,000 a year. So, and I felt like I had way more money than I do now for some reason. So, I just think it's a.
You just said it. People, again, human behavior, that doesn't change, and history always
No.
repeats itself. And Americans do a very bad job at saving money.
Yeah,
They
we
don't.
We don't change.
We're,
do
I
we?
think we're ranked number
horrible.
32 in the entire world. Think about it.
It's horrible.
All the wealth in this country, we're ranked 32. And all it takes, remember, who's the vast majority of the buyers in America? It's moderate to middle class people, right? That's who contributes basically to the vast majority of the GDP, right? If they get affected, think about it. If contractors, anybody that's on commission, right? Business owners, they get affected, we have a real big problem. I can't see like infrastructure work. I don't see it being better next year or the following year. That's like contractors. I don't see them getting any much more busier. I think they're not going to be busy anymore. I
Oh, you
think-
don't?
No.
Oh man, I just if I stopped doing mortgages today, I would immediately go to be a contractor.
because you understand the business and you
Great
know
practice.
that your
But- no, but-
competition's awful.
Great
That's why.
practice.
That's right. I would go there and I would as a matter of fact, I probably should. Like I would
You are a
probably
contractor.
Yeah, you are a
Yeah,
contractor. You've been
yeah.
a contractor.
You're going
the
to
last
tile.
month.
yeah, of
You're
the
tiling
janitor, of the
right after
contractor, the
But
tiling
but to
guy.
your point, if you don't see that to be a problem in about a year
Well,
or two,
no, I do. It's just it's interesting. Like it's interesting on a number of different levels.
The bar of entry is very low.
Yeah.
You could literally become a contractor tomorrow. Like there's no test.
No, right. You just fill out the paperwork. For
Exactly, and you
It's
get
like
to
being a
license.
flipper.
Contractor
Yeah,
license.
it's ridiculous.
But that's actually a good. That's probably a good episode too. Like there should be some licensing for it or something.
Oh,
For
we
a
can talk
flipper?
on the next episode. We can talk about people working in this business not being licensed, but that's another episode.
That's another
Yeah.
one too. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's definitely a good one because there's a lot of that too. But
All right.
all right, well, this is an interesting episode. So
Doom and gloom.
prediction percentage.
My prediction is 30 to 40% after the new administration.
Okay,
They're holding everything together.
I just want a prediction. I don't
And
know.
then
Yeah, I
need
know.
after the new
I don't need
administration.
the 10-minute detail.
10 to 20.
10 to 20.
I don't know. I'm here for the long haul, so whatever. Maybe it'll
Whatever
fall
it is,
somewhere
yeah.
between
And by the way,
the two of them.
it doesn't matter to me. If the
Yeah.
market goes crashing, I make more money.
So
if it
so
doesn't, I still make money.
We'll
this
we
is
figure it out.
This is Q3 of 23. I think you're. I'm gonna go with you. I think it's probably 10,
High
20% at most. At most, and the whole thing will be what happens with rates.
Yes, I
If
think
rates
that
if rates
come-
drop, a 10 to 20% increase. That's what I think. But we'll
Wrap
see.
it up before Mike gets all fired up
We'll
again.
see.
Yeah.
We'll see. We're gonna get him going again.
Rates were low back in
Yes.
08 or 09. I didn't see
All
anything
right,
happen.
another
Just saying.
another episode in the books.